Ignite to impact.
You know, from time to time, we all need a little inspiration to get motivated, perhaps, to do those things that we really don't want to do or we really don't like. And that happens probably every day. And so, this lack of motivation or inspiration, whether it's going out to the gym or finishing that project or staying on that diet, we're all there sometime. In today's conversations, I want to share with you some effective tips on how to find inspiration in your daily life. So, hi, I'm Dr. Geneva, and I want to talk about this topic because, throughout my career as a businesswoman, as a nonprofit leader, working in the community, as a mom, as all those different roles and hats, I know I've needed inspiration. And so I've worked hard during my lifetime to find some of the best ways to stay inspired, to do the kinds of things that I really want to do, my goals, achieve those outcomes. But every day it's a struggle. So I have had to find inspiration, and I want to share that with you. The thing that comes to mind for me when I think of the last time that I had to really dig deep and find me some inspiration was shortly after I had lost my loved ones, all within a period of time, short period of time. My mom, my dad, my husband of 40 years. And I was really in a deep funk. And I knew that I had to figure out how to get out of that struggle, get out of that darkness. And the best way I knew to do it was to get inspired by something or someone. And that's really the definition of inspiration. That is something or someone that makes you feel good so that you go do something, like makes you feel good so that you go do something great. And I really needed that at the time in my life when things seemed so dark. And so I decided to look for inspiration in hearing the stories of others. And that really led to me starting my podcast, Ignite to Impact. And that's what I've been doing for the last 3 or 4 years. And that is listening to these stories of success and challenge and strategies that hundreds of people have shared with me throughout the years. And so you can, find out and listen to and get inspired by those stories. Just run over to my YouTube channel or follow me on any platform where you listen to your podcast. Get your favorite podcast platform, whether that be iHeartRadio or Apple Tunes. And you'll hear hundreds of stories that inspire you. And that's why I thought that having the opportunity to listen to others and what they do could inspire us all, ignite us to create the impact that we wanted to. So that's how I put that together. And I started off with first trying to figure out, well, do I want to help inspire baby boomers? Or do I want to motivate Gen Xers or younger millennials? And, what target audiences they talk about? Do you reach out, and what did I want to help? And after thinking about it, I said, well, no matter what age we are, we need inspiration. No matter, where we are in our lives, we struggle with those challenges. No matter what our age is, we want to look good and feel good. So I said, well, how about inspiring or putting together a podcast and having conversation that could inspire generations of leaders at any age? And that's what motivated me and got me to Ignite to Impact. So, what are your stories of inspiration? I'd love to hear from you, whether you're live or you listen to the replay. Just drop your comments. What event in your life inspired you to be who you are and what you're doing today? So let me start with those things that I'd like to share with you that I found to be helpful. And so if you're lost for inspiration, here are 5 ways that can you can try out, and you probably already do. My favorite one is going for a walk. That walkabout, where you change your environment, you get moving, and so walking is very inspirational for a couple of those reasons because they allow us to take a break from whatever it is we're doing and to change our environment, even if you're just walking around your neighborhood or walking around your house, which is what I do and started doing during pandemic. Those times when I couldn't get out or didn't want to go out, I would find ways to circle my house and, at least keep moving. And so this whole idea of changing our environment and taking a break helps give us a new perspective on things. And, the other thing about walking, again, whether it's around your neighborhood, around a track, and even walking in place, is that it's a monotonous thing. So it's something that, you walk, you walk, you walk, you walk, and your mind can go to another place. Hey, it can daydream. And so that helps this inspiration mode kick in because it means we're daydreaming, which is often a great source of inspiration. And so try it, that go for a walkabout. Another thing that I go to for inspiration, and I'd like you to try, is to take a break. Just pause, just stop for a moment. Sometimes the best thing that you can do to spark that creativity or inspiration is to just pause, kick back, sit back, and just relax, just think. That way, you're not forcing um, the idea or the motivation or it's whatever it is you're trying to do. You're not forcing it. You're just sometimes, because that can create stress. Sometimes that'll be more worrisome that whenever you do. And instead, you simply let it come to you. Let the universe, just come to you. And that's why I think taking a break is good. And also, I'm going to tell you the flip side of that is, and it's a management technique, frankly, that I've used too, and that is to sleep on it. So when you're sleeping on it, you really are taking a break. And so sometimes when things happen during the day, I have to make a decision, I really don't want to, I'll say, well, let me sleep on it. And that's a form of taking a break. And oftentimes when I wake up in the morning, I have a new idea or I'm inspired. So taking a break works. The third technique I'd like to leave with you if you're kind of lost for inspiration or trying to figure out how to get motivated is to listen to music. So music can be highly inspiring because it changes, it alters our mood and energy level and takes us to really different places. And so many times you'll find that music can leave you lost in thought. So trying to listen to something lets you think over the subject and kind of lose yourself into it. But then also, if you listen to music and you're moving, that helps get those juices flowing as well. So try it. Listen to music and listen to your favorite music. Turn on, whatever that favorite channel is, or on your TV where you listen to your music station, whatever it is, pick some music that gets your juices going. The fourth suggestion that I would make if you're looking for inspiration in your daily life is to learn something new. Yes, that is, discover something that you hadn't really thought about before or know. And you can Google things that you might be interested in. You could go on YouTube. My mom, when I was a young girl, believed that uh, every single day I should learn a new word. And I remember this time that she had this word. It was immensely. Now you have to understand. Well, first of all, my mom was a teacher, so an elementary school teacher. So that gives some context to it. And in fact, she was the first Black elementary school teacher in our educational system. And so not only was she one of those, teachers that you always makes an impression on you so that you always remember her, but she was a warrior in the kinds of things that she did and how she taught and her belief in young people. And I run into people today when I go back to my hometown who will say to me, Miss Jones was my best teacher. She inspired me. I remember her today and the words that she used to say to me. Okay. So my mom used to, I used to think about it later. She used to always school teach on me all the time. And so this daily practice of learning a new word was something that was ingrained in me, and she did to help inspire me to be better. So this one day, this word, the word of the day was immensely. So I could barely pronounce it. Now you have to understand, I was about 6, 7 years old, and I could barely pronounce immensely, which means to enjoy tremendously. Okay, it's just like, the height of all enjoyment, immensely. I enjoyed it immensely. But not only did I have to learn the word, I had to use it in talking to someone. So that on this day, I can see it just as clearly as if it happened yesterday. I was on my porch and the mailman comes up. And again, this is a small community and, we know everyone. So we knew the postman. And so I said, "Good morning. I hope your day is immensely great," or something like that. So the postman looks at me, Mr. Scott. I remember him. Mr. Scott looks at me. He said, "My, that's a pretty big word, for a little girl like you." I said, "Yes, I'm enjoying it immensely." So I said it again. He laughed and he said, "You know what?" He said, "I love you saying that." He said, "I'm going to go home. I'm going to tell my wife what you said. And I'm going to tell my children. That's a big word. And I'm so glad you shared it with me." And, I was surprised by his reaction. But basically, what he was saying to me was that he was inspired by what it was that I said. I had learned this new word and I used it. So, learning something new. I love to hear what story you might have about when you learned something new and it helped inspire you. Thank you, Tisha. Tisha says she appreciates my stories. And, particularly, I got to bring my mom forward because, in March, when we celebrate Women's History Month in particular, we remember all of the wonderful things that we get inspired by in terms of women. And that's one of the things that you can do when we think about learning something new. Go and Google women who made a difference. Okay. And see the list of women, and you may discover on that some women that you had never heard of, and read their stories, learn something new. And so the fifth way that I'd like to suggest to you, recommend to you, that I know has worked for me and how I find inspiration in my everyday life, is to talk it over. You know, there's this myth that we have that our ideas and our inspiration and our creativity goes off like a light bulb all the time and happens all at once. And it's like lightning strikes, and there it is. And then it's fully formed. But actually, most people, when they think about it, they realize that their best ideas perhaps aren't formulated all at once, but are a collection of different things and come together perhaps over a period of time, and they emerge. And oftentimes, the best ideas that we get are when we talk it over with other people. And so there's no I in inspiration. Well, really, there is the letter I, but that's not what I mean. The point that I'm trying to say is that oftentimes we find our inspiration in conversation and talking over our ideas and our feelings with other people. I know some of the best ideas that I get is when I talk with my team about next steps or what we should do, how we can help, how we can reach more people. The ideas flow. And so talking it over with others and expressing your feelings and gathering that input often, sometimes I'll just sit in a room and hear and talk with other people, and I'll say, wow, listen to that idea. That's a great thought. Have you tried that? Have you found inspiration just by talking to someone in your daily life every day? Let me know if you have had that experience by just listening to somebody else or talking to someone else and, figuring it out together, something, and finding that inspiration when you combine your ideas and your thoughts and learn from different people's insights and listen to conversations and engage in conversations. So, don't make the mistake of looking for inspiration on your own. Involve others. So those are the 5 ways that I want to leave with you. But you know what? I got a bonus for you. If you'd like to hear this one, I want to bring this one to you. And that is one of the ways that I find inspiration in my daily life is through good deeds. So you may say, well, Dr. Geneva, what you talking about through good deeds? Well, first, the whole idea of extending yourself and helping others or doing something that gives you the feeling that you're expressing and bringing value and helping others can give you great inspiration. Oh, hey, Leah, good morning. Yes, Leah is saying synergy is talking about a dream or a goal, and that creates opportunity for inspiration. Yes, that synergy of working with others and hearing from others and not just having one idea, but having several ideas. That whole 1 + 1 = 3, because it does. It really does, because that 1 + 1 gives you that inspiration, that synergy, so that you get more than two. And I do know my math, but what I'm saying is 1 + 1 = 3 gives you that inspiration. And that's what I think when I, really reflect on good deeds. So, particularly during those months when, we recognize the contributions of others, like Black History Month or Women's History Month, what we're really doing is reflecting on the good deeds, the accomplishments of others. And by doing that, that can give us inspiration in our daily lives. That is from what other people are doing. I go back to my mom. So you heard me talk about her being a warrior in the classroom and in the community, because she was always fighting for equal rights, for in education, for using the best methods that anyone could to um, make the classroom experience the best for young children. She founded and became head of the first gifted program for young people in the state of New Jersey. And she was always reaching to, to be the best, but to be the best for the role model for children and young people. So I was inspired by her. But I want to tell you, I was also inspired on a day-to-day basis by what she did and how she carried herself. She would get up every morning. Didn't matter if she was going to work, if she was staying home, if she was shopping, didn't matter what she was doing. And she would fully groom and get dressed, the whole bit, put on what she wore, the makeup, the whole bit, because she always believed that, she was going out and greeting herself, that she wanted to be the best she could be for herself. So it didn't matter if she was going and seeing other people, but what she would do for herself. So I watched her growing up doing that and found myself, I do the same thing. She inspired me to look first in myself to find inspiration. And then use that energy and that inspiration to help others and to be of value to others. And so and so it was just her deeds, what she did. And so good deeds, whether you're working one-on-one with young people, whether you're working in the community, whether you're a role model and a leader on your job, whether you started a successful business, you have the opportunity to do good deeds that can inspire yourself and others. So that's my bonus tip. And it's something that, in fact, you can do every single day. Okay. So those are the ways that I think you can find inspiration in your daily life. I would love to hear your ways. So tell me your best tip for finding inspiration in your everyday life. And if you want to, continue the conversation and if you want to continue the conversation and really get into how to find inspiration, how to defeat doubt, how to just become the best you can be, hey, follow me on social media. Come join our newsletter community where you could get weekly tips and advice on, how to be your better self. Yes, thank you, Leah. Yes. Leah says your mom was also self-caring. Yes, yes, yes. That word, self-caring. Taking care of ourselves, probably without even thinking about it. She would be the best before giving to others. And yes, she says, I see where you get it from. Thank you so much for that compliment, and I take it all in spirit and say yes, yes, yes. And that's what I mean about how we can find inspiration every place we look. So I want you to run out there and find it. If you want to journal about it, I've got some great journals. And yes, yes, yes. And so I hope you can, connect with them. We'll put the how you can get connected and get those journals. They're on Amazon. Mom Too Much. Hey, how you doing? I love that. Mom Too Much. Oh, that's inspirational. How are you? Oh, she says that I am her inspiration today. Thank you so much. Well, just in your Mom Too Much, I'm getting that's inspirational because I know you gave some thought to it, and it must be about how you could be the best mom you could be, how you're enjoying loving being a mom and all that it does, and the role model that you are for your children, which is another way you find inspiration. At least I do from my children and what they do every single day. And I sit there sometimes and marvel at how they've been able to just face the challenges, which we all face. We all have ups and downs, but to do it with grace and love and dignity and fun and humor and all of that. So, Mom Too Much, glad you could join. And thank you for being with us. So, listen, I'm going to sign off. I think that's what I wanted to talk about. Follow me on social media on all platforms. Love you. See you again next time on Ignite to Impact.